Oh, it appears beautifully. Okay. Right, so this is a new kind of new setup. I don't actually know, but anyways. So I know this is early. You don't have to come early. It's just me rambling before I actually start the fucking stream. So yes, as you can see, I am now a VTuber of some kind. Yeah, feel free to have questions. Oh my god, everything is lagging. Okay, so generally I received questions and I'm here to kind of update everyone on what I'm currently doing and what I'm going to do. So today's topic is going to be something that's borderlining illegal, but I can justify this as a legal activity. So there is nothing wrong with this. It's just that, you know, the term catfishing can come in many interpretations. I'm just doing something that's a little bit borderlining the illegal side, but for business incentive. That's the title of the stream today. Hello, hey Rose. I don't know if Aina will turn up, but yeah, I'm hoping Aina will turn up. I know that Younglin will turn up. Hmm. Yes, because Younglin had a question. So yes, they were asking a little bit about some other platforms to be writing on and stuff like that, which I have answered. So this stream tonight is actually because of two things. First and foremost, because I have an awesome fan, Silent Reader, who joined my Discord recently. It's a manifestation of a rascal, and they've been telling me today that they have not seen videos for a while, which yeah, which is kind of like the reason why I did this. Yes, Rose. Yes, I know. It has been crazy, like crazy, crazy. In 2 more days, Singapore is going on a lockdown again, like heightened lockdown. So that kind of sucks for us. That they just not very, you know. Hmm. I have to. Like my finances are taking a dip thanks to the economy, and then they have the heightened lockdown again. So I don't know. Like we can't even celebrate my brother's birthday with mom because you know, parents divorced. You want to celebrate with one parent, you gotta do it on a separate day, and then you know, just things just don't work out. Oh, and today's stream is very well sponsored. Not really sponsored, but it's brought to you by two of my very good Patreons, Anike and I can't remember the other person's name. Avitui, as in like the one that I saw on my Discord. But yeah, they actually. Well, I was not expecting anyone to get a USD $25 per month subscription tier, but they did. So here it is for them. This stream is for them. Shout out for them, even though I don't know if the shout out is required. But yeah, so Singapore's going under lockdown. Things have been terrible. I've been terribly busy. My dad doesn't have a job. So financially speaking, I'm forced to find means and ways of earning income. I gotta admit, the stock market isn't looking good right now. Which, speaking of which, I better check that stock before my stream starts officially. Yeah, I think things haven't like been extremely good. So, well, in any case, yeah, I just want to say that this stream was brought to you by some of the people who were talking like in the editors meeting. And then I did a stream last week. Was it last week? I can't remember now. About mainstream versus niche. That Aina did say she forgot to ask me to sing her a lullaby. So at the end of today's stream, I hope I remember to do that. Hopefully it doesn't run like for 2 hours of me talking to myself. That is not, yeah. Okay, we have about 4 more minutes. So yes, I just want to say that, you know, according to the editor, um, my book is doing well. So I don't know what happened there. Long story short, for the people who have not been here on my stream before, I intended to join WSA with Godfather World, so I planned for it and I prepared for it like a few months prior, and then I got COVID and I chickened out because I didn't want to sell my rights of this work to web novel itself. So I hastily created another work which is called Monarch of Solitude that was contracted like last month. So this is my first month of MGS. Like July is the first month of MGS, and I'm seeing like huge differences in the performance of this new work versus performance of Ball of Nothing that I've been writing for almost 3 years. So yeah, learning journey is it's tough, it's steep, it's well whatever it is, it's I did my best, and this is a learning experience for myself. Like what I'm gonna cover today in this stream is something I would absolutely hate to do like 2 years ago, but now because of circumstances, I have to do something about it. Because like I said, it's up to me to find the finances that to hold things together in my family and stuff like that, which apparently that's a huge responsibility. I don't even know how much I should be earning, but I know that I'm not earning enough if I'm asking this question. So without further ado, I hope this is okay. So I will be doing timestamps. I hope to be doing timestamps for the one on YouTube so that you can replay and then you can just skip to the part that you want to know, like, oh, I just want to know about this thing. Okay, what's in it for me? And then you just listen to it, maybe 5 minutes ramble or something like that. It's gonna be a chill, casual stream, so feel free to ask me questions, feel free to idle chat. It's fine. The purpose of this is not a live seminar. I'm not charging you for your time. You're not paying me for anything. So it's more like a sharing session instead of a learning session. I like to say that. Also, disclaimer, I need a proper VTuber avatar that is, representing me. And so far, these avatars that I've been using are just all found on the internet, like free rights and everything. So it's a free for all. I just grab one that I think is okay among all those rights that I can use and put it up here. So this technically isn't my VTuber avatar. I need one. I don't know how to make one. I don't have time to make one. So for now, I guess this blue girl is gonna be my VTuber avatar. And I'm not a real VTuber, so I'm not gonna do a VTuber's introduction of like, Yahoo, I sama desu yo. It's kinda cringe. Okay, so 1 more minute to officially start this. I hope I have my audiences collected. If not, then well, just watch the replay, okay? Watch the replay, guys. Okay, I'm gonna shut down my Discord for a while, so I will not be receiving any messages on Discord. Just to let everyone know. I'll check after the stream ends, but for now, let me just focus on the stream a little bit. It's taking up a lot of my processing power on this poor laptop. So yeah, unimportant tasks. I'm gonna kill it all. Yeah, only you would find it cute. I don't want to be that kind of VTuber who is all that cutesy stuff like hey. No. Like that might be my natural voice, but I absolutely hate it. So yeah, without further ado, it's 9 p.m. Let's start. Okay, so this is the art of catfishing for niche authors. So it's a presentation by myself, who is also a niche author. So, a lot of things that I'm gonna tell you today are things that I absolutely hate to listen to myself. So, it is not a secret. The web novel success is not a secret. You will not get like it's out there. All the top authors who have come to my channel have been saying the same things. It's just a matter of whether you want to do it or whether you don't want to do it. So, like Amy Lin has talked about it before. She mentioned that writing a web novel is very different from traditional publishing, and that she actually followed the advice of the content editors very closely to create like maybe the first 50 chapters to actually pull in the readers existing on web novel itself to write her works all the way into the top 25 authors. And then before that, there was also True Dawn. Trudon did say that in order to create a successful web novel model of writing, you gotta actually put in elements of mainstream into your work, even if it's a niche. So it's kind of like a, you don't write a complete mainstream kind of thing, but at the same time you're not gonna write a complete niche thing that nobody finds and like only a handful of them does. So it's more of a, the art of catfishing is like, fooling the readers into thinking that this is what they came for, but at the end you are trying to convert these readers into your own temple and your own religion, not the religion that they used to know. But yeah, it's like subtle brainwashing kind of, but keep your money counts, like, milk your cash cows properly through this art. And I hope that this helps people. So I guess just about every single author that came on my stream before, like, even Miss Reality Bites, she was saying the same thing. She was saying that, she wrote like six contracted works for a web novel, and only one actually propelled her all the way to the top with the earnings that she was looking for, which is the Curse Prince. Not sure if the Curse King that she entered WSA is doing well as that. But in any case, so yeah, she treats it like a business strategy kind of thing. Oh, hello, Young Lin. Yes, I was waiting for you. Yeah, so Miss Reality Bites actually exposed her secrets of success here. So what I'm covering is just going deeper into what they mean, the art of catfishing for niche authors. So all of the top authors, or like not really all, like most of the top authors on web novel that you see started as niche authors, but they had a business strategy. So there are two kinds of writers. The first kind of writer is an artistic kind of writer, and artistic writers usually just write things that they are passionate about, regardless of whether it's following the current trends or it's popular or if it will make money. So that's fine. We have this kind of writers. At the same time, we have a different kind of writer, which is a success model kind of writer. I would say they are entrepreneur writers. So they treat all their books like little business models, somewhat like Miss Reality Bites. She's definitely an entrepreneur writer. So she knows how to make money from the things that she does. Amy Lin as well. So she's doing very well in that departments. Like they did all their research as well. Another role model of mine is Demplot Armor, who is the creator of Villain Cultivation. So initially, Demplot Armor was kind of like a niche author. He was relatively unknown and he spent 1 year just doing market research, just reading other people's books, just like, redrafting, redrafting, and drafting his stuff until he was like completely satisfied with it, that he knows readers are going to eat it up once it launches into the market. That was Templar Armor, and it is proven. So he launched himself all the way to success, like all the way into the earning charts. So he's okay with it now. Like he has his break, he made his break, he's self-made. Templar Armor is the epitome of this art of catfishing, and he is a niche author. So what I'm about to say is going to work, but you might hate it if you are not an entrepreneur writer. So if you treat all your works like babies and you want them to grow into the best that they could be, it's probably not going to work for you. Because when you're writing something that's catfish based, you need to include elements that you might not like. It's sad to say, but you can't have everything in the world. You gotta choose. Like, circumstances made me choose, which is why I wrote Monarch of Solitude instead of contracting Godfather World, even though I like Godfather World more. So Monarch of Solitude is a sellout work. Not to say that I dislike my work, but it's like a, my least favorite child, kind of. Monarch of Solitude is definitely adopted. Okay, so in this stream, I made this like hastily, so forgive me if it looks something similar to something you've seen in the past. It is the same template, different content. I just put it in. So what I'm gonna cover in this stream is firstly mainstream elements. So understanding mainstream elements. This one I will try to summarize it because I actually did this in like the previous stream, like mainstream versus niche. And then secondly, I will be covering knowing readers. Thirdly, I'm going to be covering designing balance. And then your exit plan, number 4. So while this seems like it's optional, it's actually not. And the fifth is the pros and the cons of doing so. So simply enough, this should be a fairly short stream, I would like to think. But, circumstances might not make it short. Depending on your questions, feel free to ask away, okay? No pressure. So first thing, mainstream elements, if you check my live stream last week. I think it was last week. I hope it was last week because I had that this second COVID shot that paralyzed my entire left arm, and then I couldn't. Yeah, it was last week. It was like last Tuesday, if I remember correctly now. Okay, so it's been about a week. So mainstream elements generally means that you need to select the correct tropes. By tropes, I mean current trend, new trend, and evergreen trend. So an example of current trend, which is probably the hardest to write because current trends come and go like really, really fast. Uh, it used to be magic for a while, and now I think it's not. Now I think it's more like kingdom, whatever. So like in the FL section, it used to be all the rage of isekais and whatnot, reincarnation. Now the reincarnation trope is kind of dying, and the system trope is the system trend is kind of like, fading out. Like people are like, oh, so used to it. Like the market is full of these, and people are just so sick of reading it. Everybody now wants to know about like royalty. So imagine if you're like royalty, and royal romance is a coming trend. It's a current trend for FL itself. Reincarnation, not so. I would say FL doesn't really do that well in it, but royal romance, yes. And then after that, new trends that are coming up. Okay, this one is subjective. So like dungeons, dungeons are really coming up, and in the FL world, especially if you write BL is like a huge topic. So it used to be like mafia and whatever not, like the bad boy versus good boy kind of neighbor thing. But now in BL, if you're talking about new trends, Omegaverse is hot. Current trend is Omegaverse, and the one that's coming up, I think it's Dom Subverse, which is a split off from Omegaverse, but it still spins around that fated pairing thing. So it's a new trend that's up and coming. I'm thrilled to actually explore that, but I currently don't have time thanks to everything that's happening in real life. Then evergreen trends are stuff like, things that never die out. For example, vampires. For example, werewolves. Like, these things just continue, they never run out. So these are your tropes. Easiest way to spot tropes, especially if you're writing a web novel itself, look at your WPC entries. Like, what are the editors actually looking for? So, in the WSA itself, they gave you a lot of trends, so you can select your tropes from these. These are all mainstream genres that you can write. As long as you write one of those or like a few of those mixed into your story, you're good to go. You're considered mainstreamish. You have mainstream elements. Secondly, it's genre and text. So genre, for example, romance is like superly, flooded. If you want to do historical romance, okay, that one's niche. If you want to do romance, historical, but you put in reincarnation and royal romance, then you're set for mainstream elements. If you just do historical romance with no reincarnation, no whatsoever, chances are people are not likely to read your books because it doesn't have what they are looking for. And the people who actually do look for books like yours are going to be very few because they don't have the right search tags coming in. So setting is important, genre is important. So Youngling actually did ask in DMs about Eastern fantasy. Honestly, right now in the e-fiction world, Eastern fantasy is still considered a niche market that web novel dominates. Web novel make Eastern fantasy look like a mainstream because they are full of translated novels, and the readers that come over to web novel to read their translated novels will think that an original work writing in the same style of translated works make it mainstream. But honestly, if you move out of web novel, you put cultivation, chances are majority of the readers who actually see this don't know what cultivation is if they don't read web novel fiction. Because all these 仙侠 and 武侠小说, all these things are from Chinese literature base, Chinese fiction, which is popular in my country, Singapore, because I don't know how many percentage of us, but a huge percentage of us are Chinese. We have two Chinese media television channels, things that shows a lot of these things. So we know what it is all about. But the general population of readers, especially if you're talking about the Western readers coming in, that web novel wants to attract, they don't know what 仙侠 is. They don't know Chinese paladin. They don't know Condor heroes. They don't know the Three Kingdoms. No, none of that. In fact, not all of them know anime. That's sad and shocking, but it's true. So if you want to talk about mainstream elements, you should probably hate towards mainstream in a Western sense. Because first and foremost, web novels business direction as seen from the WSA rewards is that they want to invade America, they want to invade the West, they want to earn the money from spending countries like America. Basically, they just want Americans. So your readers that you want to target are mostly Americans. Let me just show you this thing. It's the back end of my web novel that most people will probably not show you if they are contracted writers, but I don't care. I'm very open to this. So these are my current stats. And according to this, it's this is Monarch of Solitude, so it's like 1 month-ish old after contract. So these are the stats that I just got. So it's updated daily. I think it's updated daily. Well, any case. So you can see that I have this subscription thingy that only applies to contracted work. So subscription is the number of people who actually unlock your chapters with paid coins. Honestly, I've never seen these numbers before, so I was asking Miss Linda the other day. I was like, is 50 subs a day a good number? Because I honestly don't know. I'm used to seeing zero. Well, yeah, I wrote like Ball of Nothing that only has like 6 point something K collections. Not collections, 6 point something K subscriptions. And now it's like 1.2K subscriptions, but I'm barely even a month in, so I don't really know if it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing because it's like significantly more than anything else I've ever done on web novel for the 3 years here. These are the subs. I don't know how much I'm earning, so at the end of the month I will probably know, but not now. And then you have collections growth, which is crazy because I don't know where I'm getting featured, but I'm getting a lot of views. And then you have this duration read thing that I don't understand till this date. They have day 1 to 7 retention rate. What the hell is this? Uh, Oh, this is new. Okay, maybe not. I actually don't know what this is. And then they have valid reads, which I totally ignore. But this part here, I'm absolutely interested in. It's called Reader Insights because it tells you how many percentage of your readers are what gender. So apparently mine is male oriented because like hello, Monarch of Solitude daily quest system. It's like not a romance thing, so it's definitely not for females. Although I have a small percentage of females, which is very rare. I want to be friends with all of them, but I don't know them. And then they have geographical distribution, which just tells you basically which countries they come from. You want to see the most in United States. So if you don't have most of your readers from the United States, chances are you're not gonna be earning very well. Not gonna lie to you, but yeah, that's generally how it works. So there's a lot of theories about how much you can earn based on these stats over here looking at it, which I don't really know or I don't really care. Anyway, so yeah, these are my stats. So most of my readers, as you can see, come from United States. Do you think readers from United States will be reading genres like 仙侠, Eastern fantasy, cultivation? I don't know if they will. I mean, my little brother is doing well in the cultivation sense, but he's an exception because he doesn't just write cultivation, he writes a lot of smut. And anything that has sex sells. Doesn't matter if it's music, if it's art, or if it's books, anything that has sex honestly has a market of its own. So, including media. So, this is how to determine if you have a mainstream element and if you have the right audiences. So knowing your readers, like I said earlier, so after you see your demographics over here, which are gonna be your paying readers and which are the free readers. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think a lot of people from the Philippines or Africa, if you see them in there, pay. That is the sad reality and the truth of how web novel readers work. So those countries are most likely gonna be free readers. They just fast pass. And then paying readers usually only come from Western countries. I mean, there will be exceptions all over. I have readers from India. I have readers from, Southeast Asian countries, but they are few. Most of the paying readers actually come from United States. So know your readers, where they come from, what do they want. And knowing your readers and what they want is important because you can't develop a story and write for the people to continue paying if they don't see what they want to see. For example, if you are my little brother, you are selling smut, okay? You write smut, you create characters that the main lead bangs. That's all. That's all the readers will want to see before they throw coins at you. So if you stop writing that, or you drag on like 3 chapters and then it suddenly becomes 30 chapters and no action scenes, well, then you're going to have a problem with your paying readers because they're not getting what they want and your book is going to die. So this is what I mean by paying readers versus free readers. And the case of in the case of Ball of Nothing versus Monarch of Solitude, okay, Ball of Nothing, initially, it attracted a lot of these people who just wanted to see overpowered MC devouring everything. But then it somehow, along the lines, evolved because I'm a niche author. I don't care what my readers want to see about devouring and becoming overpowered. I just wanted a cute little boy going on an adventure, and that's what I wrote. And then I lost all the readers there. So the catfishing does work for a little bit, but it's just like the first few chapters, like the first 3 chapters. I didn't drag it on long enough, so I learned from this mistake and I created Monarch of Solitude. The first 50 chapters is about kingdom building and about a loner and about an overpowered MC who is like slightly crazy and superly depressed. So the people who came here stayed for it because in 50 chapters I stayed true to what I was selling. Overpowered MC, I sold kingdom building. I made everything from reservoirs to like, clay vats and whatever. And I told them specifically no romance. So I introduced cats and I said cats were like the only exceptions to it. And then they stayed. So I have preview readers, which is kind of rare because I've honestly never seen them before. And the preview readers are saying the things that they like, the direction that it's going. So kingdom building is my selling point. Therefore, my paying readers who come will stay if I continue making this content, regardless of how I do it. As long as it contributes to kingdom building, it's gonna happen. Okay, I have some comments. Wait, let me just check. Okay, Younglin says that the feedback is almost zero from the readers, and even now the existing readers is gone. It's not as if they're bothered with any new Eastern fantasy. That is true. So it means that it's time to wrap up the book and go. I'll talk about it more in Exit Plan and some of the business strategy if you are more of an entrepreneur writer and want to be an entrepreneur writer. So Rose actually says, I have a question. If xianxia or other not more mainstream are slowly induced in a book, will it have a percentage that it will get more paid readers or flop? Okay, this is what the art of catfishing is all about. First and foremost, you gotta create something at the start that is completely mainstream to hook them on the premise of wanting to know the end of the book. And then if you slowly introduce things that are not mainstream into the book, there are chances that your paying readers will stay because they've invested so much time into the book that it's frustrating to drop just because of it. But of course, you're gonna have to slowly introduce it in a way that's non-intrusive. Like you don't just smite an entire world and say, okay, now they're moving to a zombie apocalypse. That's a little bit too much. But you can slowly introduce things like, okay, maybe if you're doing a ciencia, you want it to eventually go into an apocalyptic world full of zombies, you write it as if one thing comes at a time, and there's like this supernatural mystery that leads on to another thing and another arc, and then it slowly becomes like a zombie world but xianxia setting. Yeah, you can do that, and chances are your readers will stay because it's firstly entertaining as fuck, and secondly not seen anywhere else before, but it started off as something that they like, so it grows into something that they love. They will stay for it, and they won't stay just for the story, they stay for the author. So that is something. So it can be a flop if done wrong, but it can also be a win if you do it right. So the key is to be gentle. And then after that, okay, Youngin says, in my case, my book died. 12k words, system Eastern, weak to strong MC. Only had 30 collections, not a single comment or feedback. Profanity? Oh, you were talking about that. I mean, first and foremost, okay, tags only work so much in the case of visibility when people search up and then they go in there. Did you establish the tone in a summary? Did you establish that tone in the first chapter that this is going to be your MC? He's full of vulgarities. He's like completely feeble, and he's just basically a loser in a setting that's completely Eastern because you use the word wonton and dumplings in there, something like that. Like, did you establish that already and keep true to that style for the next 50 to 100 chapters? Or did you, just breeze it over and then just move on? And then people don't catch that strongly enough. You don't, like, okay, readers nowadays are unfortunately readers nowadays are dumb. You gotta say important things more than 3 times in bold, in caps, in red, and like, in their face basically before they actually get the point of, oh, this is what it's all about. Okay, maybe this is not my cup of tea. And then they move on. Or, oh, this is exactly what I like. More of these, please, author. So, yeah, if you didn't establish like a brand that is strong, you might find a problem when you actually introduce what you wanted to do in the later case because of, reader disappointment of thinking what it was, but it wasn't actually what it was. Did that answer your question? So the establishing of that first few chapters wasn't strong enough for it to happen. That's why it only had that much stuff going on. Talise, hello on Twitch. I'm also on YouTube. Yeah, but that's how it happens. So, knowing your readers part 2 is vocal readers versus silent readers. So, vocal readers are the readers who comment a lot. Silent readers are the readers who just read and then just stay and they don't do anything. They might not even vote. You don't even know they exist. So, should you listen to vocal readers or not? Are they the readers that you want to keep? Chances are these are the readers that you don't want to keep. Reason being, because vocal readers are always the one asking the author to change something. But honestly, if you take a look at the number of collections that you're getting, and if it's growing every day, and people are actually liking what they came for, chances are you don't need to change a single damn thing. Listening to these vocal readers, like they can suggest things, but honestly, it's at the end of the day, it is the author's right to decide what they want to do. Like for me, I had fun shutting out a reader. I can just show you because he deserved this. Like, just so dumb. This guy here, Kurdi123, yeah, he just like completely dislikes it, and he says this in chapter 1. Okay, he's a vocal reader, as you can see. So he says, please change this because even the leech has a gender. If not, then can I drop it because it just triggers me? So I told him to just die, something like that. So I just said that I'm not gonna change, and that if he doesn't like it, he can drop. And then he said something about cringing because dark magic isn't used this way. Oh, why do you have to make shadow magic that way? It's supposed to be. Yeah, and then I just completely just wiped him out. I was like, you know what? Fuck you. If you really do cringe to death, like, take a picture and show me because I would like to see you dead. Yeah, so vocal readers, should you listen to them? I don't think so. No. You're trying to catfish. You're trying to fish for the readers that actually pays, that actually reads, that actually appreciates what you're creating. So vocal readers are usually mainstream readers without brains. You're not making a mainstream book. You don't want to write a book for a particular reader. You want to write a book that makes money, that hooks a lot of people in, that semi satisfies people. You don't want to, you don't want to completely satisfy them. You are not writing a book for them. You are writing a book in general for people who wish to read something similar and let the author express their creativity. So you add in elements of mainstream in step number 1, and then you build from there in a niche element that you are good at. So for example, if Yang Lin wants to continue writing Xianxia, which is definitely a niche element, you can definitely do so. Ignore your vocal readers, okay? But add in a lot of things that your silent readers would like to read. For example, like you did mention, a lot of people are moving on to English names and like more Western fantasy than Eastern fantasy. So why can't you write a modern day Xianxia instead? Because modern day technology is somewhat similar and relatable to the West that the readers can relate to, but you make it into cultivation. So it's like modern day cultivation, realism, magic realism, something like that. So you add in elements of mainstream, but you don't do it mainstream. You write what you like to write. Continue to write what you like to write. So yeah, I think you've probably seen some of these before, whereby they are like all real people and that they cultivate, and even you can use technology as a way of cultivation. So it becomes like a VR cultivation kind of thing. It's like a semi breed. It's not even sci-fi. It's like super niche, but at the same time super mainstream. So you could consider that if you want to do Xianxia, if you still want to do Eastern fantasy. That is my take on it. Like how you can create an idea that would attract readers in. And then the last but not least, knowing your readers. Toxic readers and haters can damage your profitability of your book, because one one negative comment or one negative review will get the most likes of all the positive reviews that you get. You have 60 over reviews that are maybe 5 stars, and you have only one that is 3 stars. Chances are that 3-star comment or review is going to get the most number of likes compared to all the other 5-star reviews. That's just how human psychology works. It's like, oh, if one person says it's bad, they must be right because everybody else is paid reviews. I don't know why readers think that way, but yeah, toxic readers and haters should be slammed shut, deleted, reported, and banished from your books as soon as possible to minimize damage, because honestly, they don't deserve what you've created, they don't appreciate what you've created, they should just go away. So I enjoy removing people, and if I have the ban ability, I would have done that, but I don't, so I only have the delete button, which I abuse on a daily basis whenever they appear. So I don't care if they mean it or if they're just trolling or if they're just ignorant. Anyone that does something that I don't condone of, that is not positive, inspiring in my books, will be removed. So this is important, because in order to create something that's mainstream and healthy for a writer's health, you just gotta get rid of all these toxic people, haters, and stuff like that. It will start eating at you. Like you might say, I I'm an okay author. Like, I got used to all these things, but at the end of the day, you are psychologically influenced by what you read, and it might affect your writing. So writing should be impartial. Writing should be fun. Writing should not feel like a burden. If it starts to feel like a burden, just like how your job feels like a burden, something's wrong. It's time to go for, a change, like to end it or to go for something new. Yeah. Tully says, when destiny curses toxic readers while having floating bubbles in the background. I mean, you're not wrong. I tend to enjoy it a little bit too much. So I even have an angelic laugh when I do the Ben Hammer stuff, like, oh, thank you for joining today's stream, Ben. Yeah, that just happens. Yeah, so Younglin is saying CEO in urban world trope. Hate to say, but I'm not ready to face the vocal reader and haters that will destroy my fragile heart. Even my best book is called a copy mentioned. Okay, given that, then why don't you opt for something that you can write, earn money, and can't see readers? Go for non-exclusive contracts. Don't go for exclusive. Why must you go for exclusive? You can spread your work to more platforms. Platforms I've covered in a different live stream that was extremely tedious to make, but I'm glad I did. Timestamps are there if you want to know a specific one. I would advise you to venture out, like create many profiles, upload to many different kind of platforms just to know whether you like the platform and the community there. And then if you really just want, like, income for you is not a thing, I feel, because you have a full-time job, you're good at what you do, you pay the bills with excess money. So writing is just like something fun and a pastime for you. Like, you want to grow as a writer, explore. Just explore. Like, you don't have to stay on web novel if it's not meant for you. It's just that web novel is the one that's most profitable. So what I would suggest is go to EMP, go to AND, go to find the web novel third party. Go to find the web novel third parties that offer you non-exclusive, so that you own the rights to your work to publish in other platforms for testing. You don't have to upload the whole thing to other platforms. You just need to upload like maybe the first season, and then ask them to come over to your Patreon or something like that, or to web novels non-exclusive to continue reading the rest if they like it, stuff like that. I don't know. I just really like tapas, even though it's not the most interactive and money, like, income friendly platform. So yeah, that's what I would say. You don't have to deal with vocal readers, toxic readers, and haters, because non-contract platforms don't give you the ability to monitor all these things. So you don't even know if people give you a bad review. Like, I have one work I can show you. Oops. Yada yada yada. Where was it? I have one work. It's this one. This one is actually contracted with EMP. I don't even know the review. So far so good. It might earn, it might not earn, but anyways, it's better than me actually monitoring all the reviews. I can't see any of the reviews. I can't see any of the comments. So I'm seeing it now like for the first time in like probably 6 months. I don't actually know. It's been a while. So yeah. But this is a solution, an alternative solution if you want to continue writing but don't want to see anything. So yeah, until you're psychologically recovered enough to want to get back into this industry, then yeah, you try with web novel again. But hopefully by then, the community culture would have changed a little bit for the better. I can't say for sure. So Rose is saying, no wonder I feel like this month writing is a taxing job and not fun anymore. Honestly, writing, if you feel like it's a job and it's not fun anymore, you should just work for a company. Be a content writer. Just yeah, it should be a passionate thing that you enjoy doing, but if you don't enjoy it anymore, it's probably time to let go of that work. Take a break, take a step back, and then ask yourself if you still want to continue this or if you just want to go back to doing what you want to do. Like for myself, I wish to go back to writing fan fictions. I don't want to do original works anymore, especially in the BL category, but that's what makes the money. And I'm driven by circumstances, which I absolutely hate. That's why I'm saying a lot of things that I'm going to be saying this stream are things that I would hate to tell myself like 2 years back and to tell the people who are on this stream as niche authors, because in order to make money, you got to let go of something else. And you got to let go of what makes you a writer in the first place. That is the most painful part of this process of catfishing, just to make money out of writing something that should have been a pleasure project, something that should have made you happy, something that makes you a writer, is being taken away because you're going to have to make this into a business. It's no longer a piece of art, it's a business project, which is why, you got to draw some boundaries in there. So if you are still keen to transform yourself into a catfishing author instead of just a regular nobody niche author, into someone who makes a little bit of money on the side for what you do, um, this is what you should be doing. You should be designing a balance. So there are a few ways to design this balance. For myself, it's a 80-20 content style. So 80% mainstream of what people want to see, kingdom building. 20% of content style, my style, which is philosophical backstory and a lot of foreshadowing. Yeah, I just have to add philosophical fiction in, because that's my thing. Like, I am a teacher in real life, and I think I'm a senpai when I'm not a teacher. So I feel like, my readers are my children, and I want to educate people. I want to share things with people. I just have to have that 20%, like you cannot write 100% mainstream content thing that you absolutely hate, because by the end of it, you feel like you don't want to be a writer anymore. So you have to have some kind of fun somewhere. You can still be you while having, this personality that writes a mainstream business book, but maybe for the first 50 chapters, and then you slowly transition. The second step is to transition between the seasons. So you transition it in from your 80% mainstream style, maybe cut that down to a 60% mainstream and more 40% your style. So it becomes more fun as you go along. Now, season 2 of Monarch of Solitude is absolutely fun because I ditched most of my mainstream elements. It's no longer a popcorn read. It's more like so the true story begins in season 2. Yes, that's exactly how it happens. So I'm transitioning from an 80% mainstream content style to a 60% mainstream content style. I'm putting a little bit 40% of myself in. I have increased the number of difficult words subtly. I still use simple sentence structures if I can. But yeah, you can see that there's a slight shift. So you have to be slightly more intellectual by the time you reach season 2 of Monarch of Solitude. So that's transition. It's between seasons, and overall your plot and pacing should be adjusted according to reader reactions. Like, look at what they like. So if they like a certain comedy style that you have, or they like your simple method of telling, or they like your no frills, no funny business, no fillers kind of plot line, maintain that. throughout the whole thing, that is the last 40% or 20% of mainstream that you should keep, because those are going to be elements to retaining the paying readers that you currently have worked so hard to grow. So you can alter the percentage, but you cannot remove elements of mainstream completely from your book, even if you don't want to. Even if you want to. So this is the balance that you should go. But honestly, I feel like 40 or 50% mainstream or 40 and 50% of yourself is kind of like the perfect balance, like half half. If you can transition to something that's half half, that's great. That is more than enough. So you don't have to be 100% of anything. Half half is great, but ideally you should start with 80% first, so that at least people can be like, oh, it's something that I'm looking forward to. It's my binge. It's my G's, my whatever. And then they go into it and look at that 20% of spice that is a different flavor. And if they like it, that little bit of flavor, 20%, grows into a 50%. So they still have what they came for. You go to a burger restaurant, you get your burger. But at the same time, instead of serving you a side of fries, which is the other 50%. So initially it's like, I want a burger. I come in there and I get a burger and I get my fries. So it's like I have an 80-20 kind of thing. 80% burger and fries. So the 20% is like a drink, like maybe it's not soda, maybe it's I don't know, man, chai tea, something like that. So burger, fries, chai tea. So your 20% is chai tea, and then slowly you change it to maybe the burger is still there because they wanted a burger, and then after that you get chai tea and you get, I don't know, salad bowl with burgers. So if people are okay with chai tea and salad bowls and they enjoy it with their burger and they are happy with it, they'll continue coming back to pay for this and they won't have any complaints. So that is the balance that you should seek to have when creating a niche catfish book for mainstream readers. Like, you gotta educate, you gotta learn how to snatch other people's mainstream readers, because a lot of people fail to keep their readers. Yeah, that because they lack originality at the end of it all. Mainstreamers are just business people. They write and milk their readers for as much as they can. They don't actually come up with original content to entertain the readers. It doesn't mean anything to them. It's just like a 9 to 5 job for them. So it's easy for them to just simply wrap it up in 20 chapters, drop it, and say, okay, on to the next project that will make readers based on current trends that I know I'm good at researching. But it's not the same for us niche authors, because we write when we have something to tell and share the world. Um, it's a thing that we need to learn as niche authors to balance it, so we can bring content that we want to bring in to the world, but in a different packaging. You gotta package it differently. You can't do it in the sense that we normally try to do, that we like. You can if you have the money and if you're not looking for money. But if you're looking for money, in this world, in this society that is terrible, you can't. It's you can't afford to do that without losing something. So yeah, so overall plot and pacing outline according to the reactions of your reader situation means check the stats daily, read the comments daily. And for Young Lean's case, don't read, because I feel like you first need to get back to soul searching and about what makes you a writer and regain that confidence before you try again. You might need to seclude yourself for a little while and surround yourself with more supportive people who could help you out. Yeah, you need those kind of people. You need that community at the moment. But once you're done with that, you come back, monitor the reader situations so that you know what kind of readers are reading your works, and what kind of trends are going on and how to adjust accordingly. Because trends, especially if you're writing current trends, which is covered in the first slide, like if you're doing current trends change faster than the weather, so you really have to move on with the wind. Like, I remember one of the CEs telling me there is a very popular Chinese writer writing current trends based on news, so he writes daily. He doesn't write in advance. I, on the other hand, like to write in advance. So for people like me, it's better to select tropes based on evergreen trends. So something like vampires, you never go wrong with vampires. Like, take a look at JKS. Vampire, he can just write in advance, 8 seasons, and nobody's gonna question anything because it's vampires, for crying out loud. 10 years down the road, hot guys as vampires are still gonna sell. Yeah, so it really depends. So for me, I don't do current trends. I don't do evergreen trends. I do new trends. I like to do new trends. So my work's lifespan, outlining, reacting to reader situation, this thing, I would estimate 6 months to a year. And then I'll have to wrap it up and then create a new one. So that is the lifespan of my work. Like some works don't need lifespan. JKS's work doesn't need a lifespan. It can go on forever as long as, web novel continues feeding him new readers. Yeah, so that's something. I can't. And a lot of other web novel writers try to overdrag their pacing, which is terrible because first and foremost, if you're writing a current trend and the current trend wipes out in 3 months, you gotta end that in 3 months. At most, I give you 4 months to 6 months because you wanna earn that web novel money. But if you're not earning that web novel money, just wrap it up. Go for something new. Let it rake up passive income in the back end because honestly, I think I think I earn bigger sums of money in one shots from Ball of Nothing. I ended the work and then it started picking up in sales a little bit. So yeah, I have no idea why. But sometimes it's better to do that. So if you can't win in content quality, you just win in quantity. That's like the style. Yeah, so Younglin is like, you're complaining, which is fine. Vent it all out. This is a stream for us niche authors. Hear our voices and cries of exasperation for the lack of original content on every single platform that exists out here. But yeah, we have no choice. I mean, almost a quarter of them is vampire, bloodline, wolves with blood related things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll agree. Like which is why I don't like, I am not saying that you shouldn't do those or you should do those. I'm just saying that if it's not your preference, then find something else that people would like to read. There is a lot of mainstream pockets that you can deep into and then dig out the existing mainstream readers who are just so bored of everything that's going on in there. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just bored of hearing what vampire system is. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just very bored of reading anything that has wolves and bloodline right now, that they're killing to have something new. Yeah, so these are like current trends that are going very strong. So if you are doing cultivation, I would suggest you continue doing cultivation because that's your pleasure project, but you venture into something else that's coming up. So you're looking at new trends now instead of evergreen. What they are doing are evergreen trends. So yeah, you might stop writing your current and crazy quantity, making 200 shares in the 4 MGS months and finish it. Yeah, I mean, okay, in that case, if you finish MGS and you're feeling like this is an extra heavy burden, wrap it up. Don't continue. Don't care about it. Just wrap it up. Give up this work. Come back, rethink your strategy, and then redesign something else. So this part here relates to you, Younglin. So exit plan. Every beginning has an end. When I start any book, I have an end in mind. When I start any project, I know exactly how I want the outcome of it to be. Exit plan is a necessity. It's not optional. It's something that everybody should learn to make and go through before it's too late. I had an end for Ball of Nothing. Um, but I have to admit that I did several pit stops in the way. I could have ended it in any seasons, to be very honest. Okay, but the reason why it took 4 seasons for me to end is because I tried to fight and try to make it work, and it did not work. So I was like, this is hurting me more than I actually like to admit because I'm so used to seeing 0 subs and that one comment every day. Just that one reader, by the name of Huzian, who stayed all the way to the end. He's a fast pass reader, but he stayed. So he's the only reason why I continued writing it until 600 chapters. But I figured, like, it's time to move on. I've had enough of just writing for this one person. I don't just want to write for one person. I want to write for a lot of people. I want to write for myself. And this is not working out. Like the ideas I want to put in here isn't gonna take place effectively in the kind of grand scale I want it to be. So I ended it. Um, so how do you determine if it's time to end a book? As heartbreaking as it is, if you're gonna be an entrepreneur writer and not just a writer who wants to write, just for the sake of arts, you gotta learn how to determine when something is no longer worth it. Of course, every book deserves a chance to survive for as long as it could and be the best that it could have been, but circumstances don't always allow it. So, Ball of Nothing is a regret, but not a heavy regret because I did what I could in the best of the situation that called for it. Without the ending of Ball of Nothing, I couldn't birth new books. That was just it, okay? So, my desire to bring new content and better content versus the desire to continue on this dead book that I knew was gonna be grand but didn't quite work out was more. I had to decide between these two. So the coldest way to do this and the most efficient way is to monitor it by money. If you don't see money coming in every month, like I did not for like the longest period of time, let me just show you my income statement. Okay, let's go to my historical income. I'm not ashamed. So this is when my MGS ended for Ball of Nothing, which MGS fills in for most of your majority of the incomes of whatever, and then this is whatever that comes after that. So like Ball of Nothing, you can see occasionally it's fine. That is when mass readers come in, and then they go crazy and they're like, okay, I just want to binge read the whole thing. That's when you get it. But most of the times, can you see? I don't have regular readers. It got so bad at one point. It's like $4 and $3, and what are you gonna do with that? Honestly, you can't do anything about it. So yeah. And then last month was without any support. So last month was kind of good. I would say it's kind of good. Like Ball of Nothing had binge readers. It was when I ended it. And then after that we have some making half the amount of what Ball of Nothing did. Like the entire book of Ball of Nothing only earned me $20. But already, if you could see Monarch of Solitude, not even MGS month, before MGS month, first month of premium itself, okay? $12. That's more than half of what Ball of Nothing is earning, and Ball of Nothing has 600 over chapters. Monarch of Solitude back then only had maybe less than 20 locked chapters, and I'm earning $12 from it. Like, can you believe that? That's crazy. This is what I'm talking about when I say your exit plan depends on the money that you earn. So imagine if you have 600 chapters and you only earn $4 that month. It's high time to let go because there is no guarantee that 4 will not go to 0. And it's just not worth the effort. It's a sign that you should wrap up as soon as possible, drop it, and then just move on to a new project that would work better, that might double it easily within the first month. So you monitor by readers as well. So like Yang Lin says, your readers have stopped commenting and like everybody's dead and like people have dropped, people have uninstalled the web novel app, which I recently have done like 2 days back because it was starting to take up all my SD card space and I had no more space internally. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger with useless needs. So I decided to get rid of that nuisance because I can always monitor on my PC and my desktop and my laptop and everywhere else that's not a phone. So yeah. So you monitor by readers. A lot of readers are just dead. They die and they die silently because they don't really comment in the first place. Not everybody is who's in. And as much as like people like who's in, people just don't have enough time to comment and say present in every chapter. So monitor by reader growth. The easiest way to monitor silent readers is by your back-end dashboard, like I showed just now. So you're a web novel author, you should know as well. So if your readers are actually like 0, your collections are like 5, and your money is like $0, you should just drop it. Like honestly, there is no hope for this. Like just wrap it up. I don't care how much you love your work. It's not a wise business decision. Just end it in a satisfactory way that doesn't make you go crazy. Okay, like no regrets. Regret as little as possible as you want. Monitor by growth. So like I said, if your collections are like, not even one or like just one every day, honestly, you should just let it go. It has to be like a set amount every day. Like say, I want 10 every day. Yeah. That kind of thing, double digits. Yeah, okay, I can still see this happening. But you gotta know, of the 10 readers that at your book, how many of them actually read past a certain number of chapters? I don't actually know. Maybe not even like maybe out of 10 none of them will make it to the end. Like I have like what, 12,000, was it 11 or 12,000 collections for Ball of Nothing, and I think only a handful, less than 10 of them, made it all the way to the end of the 636 chapters. That is sad. They start and then they die, and then at the end, you're just left with that few people. Just no, don't do it. It's crazy. Just stop. And then the last but not least is monitor by ROI. In case people don't know ROI, it's a financial term. I got my degree just to flex it on people. But I'm a piano teacher now, so what's a finance degree got to do with this? ROI means return of investment or return of income. Like your investment doesn't have to be a monetary value. In here, when I talk about investment, it's your time, your soul, your effort, your writer brain cells. This is what I'm talking about when I say monitor by ROI. Is your amount of hours put into making every chapter like Youngling. I know you write slow, but you want to make it quality, so you take a lot of time to actually write one chapter, and maybe one chapter a day is too much even for yourself. So is this ROI, is this number of hours that you put in worth what you're getting in return from the reader reactions? If it's not, it's time to drop. If you feel like nobody appreciates what you're doing anymore, and you feel like you have no reason to continue this because you don't even like it anymore, just stop. Like, drop it, wrap it up, go away. Do yourself a favor. Don't carry any more burdens than you have to. That's what I'll say. Like, a lot of people in life, they try to carry burdens that they don't actually need to, out of reasons like, I don't know, obligations maybe, like out of a sense of responsibility maybe, and out of a sense of, like, giving themselves excuse that this is their job when it's actually not. I know a lot of people like this. I don't know why they do it to themselves. It honestly doesn't have to be this way. Like, people stay in toxic relationships, not pointing fingers. People stay in toxic relationships just to make themselves feel like, I'm putting in effort, it should work, even though it's clearly not working, but you still don't want to break up with said toxic people. I don't know what's going on with their minds, They are mentally damaged, emotionally harmed, and not completely sane. And the person who is the least sane should be me. But even I know when to stop. So, exit plan is not an option, it's a necessity. When you start seeing signs, you gotta decide, should I let go? Should I go? And then if you have an exit plan, you should start working on the exit plan, not just say, yeah, I should stop this, and then continue writing for 300 more chapters. Like, stop. Don't do that. That's insanity beyond insanity. So wrap it up. Give yourself a deadline. 20 chapters. I need to finish this in 20 chapters. When you make that decision, end it in 20 chapters. And if you can't do it in 20 chapters, then you plan and make an arc and plot the outline as short as possible. Try not to exceed 50 chapters if you can. So yeah, that means you only have one arc to finish, like your current arc plus one. That's it. Try to end it there. Don't go more than that. And then start planning a new work. This is important because you currently have some readers. Maybe you don't have all the readers that you started off with. Maybe I don't have the 11,000 readers that I have for Ball of Nothing in the first place. But I might have that 5 at the end who will make it there. I need to start bringing that 5 people over to my new work just so I don't start with 0 readers. So start planning a new work and introduce your new work before your old work ends. So this is your exit plan, your exit strategy. In business sense, it's called business continuity planning, which means that a business, no matter who gets fired, even if the CEO gets fired, a business should still be able to run. It's like a machine that doesn't need a head, because anything can like, be a brain for this monster to function. Yeah, your writing strategy should be something like this. It should always continue. So wrap it up, start a new work, never end. Writing is a journey that never ends unless you die, and then that's it. Okay, so the next one, which is last but not least. By the way, anybody who is here, feel free to ask questions. Okay, last but not least, pros and cons. So I hated everything that I said before this for the very same reason. So the pros of this, let me try and hard sell you. First and foremost, if you are a catfishing author, you upgrade from niche author to a very pro catfisher author, you will not waste your time on books that don't earn. So do yourself a favor and stop, working on things that don't earn and make you miserable because everybody else is telling you you lack success. You're a terrible failure of an author. You don't deserve to be a writer if you don't make anything. Nobody's reading your books. Your writing sucks because you don't have readers. Let me tell you this, that's not true. There is a difference between writing quality versus writing popularity. Okay, this is why I have several enemies on web novel itself, because these people, these idiots, don't understand the difference of quality versus popularity, and they are, or they claim to be popular enough to act as very good cyber bullies to other new and less famous authors, which, yeah, don't let that get to you, okay? So the pros of this is you don't waste your time working on books that are not popular, that are not financially good. You get more exposure from web novels somehow, which I have to admit, I don't know where I'm getting featured on web novel, but I'm definitely getting features, because otherwise, why the hell is the collections growing like crazy? I can show you. It's under system notifications, I guess. Like almost every week I get something. Like, take a look at this. This number is insane. I don't ever remember seeing 81 collections in one day, and I had no scheduled features. That's the best part. No scheduled features. 81 collections. Where the hell these people come from? I got no idea, but I know that web novel is definitely featuring it somewhere. Just sporadically. So yeah, that's the pros of it. So you get features like for free, and you keep it up, and because web novel is a money making machine. If you are not making money in the first place, they wouldn't bother helping you. That's like a cycle. It's like a chicken and an egg kind of question. Like, it's a vicious cycle of which one comes first. Do I need to first be popular before web novel actually make me more popular, or do I actually need to yeah, it's the same thing. It's just business. If you are good at making money in the first place, web novel will help you make more. That's the pros. So the last one is obviously a healthier income, because this should work. 50 subscriptions a day is definitely better than zero subscriptions a day. Even though I don't know how much 50 subscriptions make, but it's like 50 times better than zero, right? Right? Like, logically speaking, I don't know how much the top authors actually earn, but I don't want to compare that, because I'm happy with competing with myself for the success that I learned, and it's currently working, I guess. I mean, the editor said so, so it has to be correct. And then the cons of actually catfishing as a niche author is, first and foremost, you're gonna have a lot of stress because you're writing way out of your comfort zone. Especially for me, I claim to not be a mainstream writer. I claim to not be able to do mainstream. I claim to don't know what mainstream is all about, and honestly, I don't. I had True Dawn help me out. So you have a lot of authors around that would help other authors because they are nice people. Just find the right ones who are not toxic, and yeah, you will learn a lot of things. So Trudon taught me a lot of things. Like, he came on the interview, and honestly, it's through the interviews with all these authors that I find out a lot more that I did not, because I live under a very splendid and solid rock that blocks out all the gossips of everything else socially. And I forgot my Instagram for a while because I was so busy in real life. I'm sorry about that. I wanted to post more with social media efforts. It was like a 2021 resolution that died because of COVID lockdown and whatnot. But I'm back. I will try to post like weekly now, but it will get stressed from running out of your comfort zone as a niche author, because mainstream is something that you have to, well, I mean, you're gonna have to start from ground zero all over again as a writer. So nobody starts out as a writer knowing exactly what it is all about. You write, you get criticized, you learn from it, and then you improve from there. It's gonna be the same thing, but worse, because you gotta unlearn some things that you already thought you knew. So it's out of your comfort zone. For example, I have never written kingdom building, and kingdom building is such a big thing that I'm not a math and science kind of person. I'm more of a free expression kind of person. And when you have to put in nuclear physics into writing, which is probably Yang Lin's strength, like you're good at writing things that are like a manual, I can't. And this is kingdom building, so I'm very way off my comfort zone, which means I spend as much time researching as I do writing. Like, I write one chapter, maybe say an hour for one chapter. Okay, that's my writing time. I gotta spend 1 hour to research one paragraph of that writing chapter. So it's really way out of my comfort zone. It's stressing me because you're fighting against time to write, you're fighting against time to plot, you're fighting against time to actually create something that might make money, but you have no idea until it's actually released, which thankfully paid off. Um, but at the same time, Writing mainstream also means that you have non-loyal readers. Sure, more people are willing to pay for it, but at any point of time, because it's mainstream and they find that it's getting boring, and then they find that they are the 20% of taste that you put in there, your chai tea that you put in there, is not to their liking. They would have preferred beer instead of chai tea, but you added chai tea instead. They're gonna leave. But more people are gonna come. They're like, oh, I heard that this one has chai tea and burgers. So yeah, you're gonna have readers like this. They're all non-loyal. I will not say that they will follow you anywhere after the book ends. So that's the cons of writing in such a way. Um, and then the last one is your writer's soul dissatisfaction, because you are a niche author, and niche authors often write for a cause. If you write something that is deviating from the cause of the reason why you write in the first place, it's like selling your soul to the devil. It's gonna hurt a lot. It's gonna make you cry. It made me cry when I had to write a salad work for Rinda. I felt like I betrayed myself as a writer and what I stood for. So, yeah. Do you really want to be a catfishing niche author? That's something that only you can answer, but I've done it and I won't say I'm absolutely satisfied or proud of myself, but circumstances required it. I don't really have much of a choice. It can be done. It definitely can be done. I just don't I just wish I did not have to do it, but now that I did it, I'm sharing with you it's possible and this is how you get to doing it. So yeah, okay, I see some comments. Okay, Soundhammer is here. It says, yeah, growing from the criticism, got criticized for not writing a character overpowered. Okay, let me just clarify that. That is the preference of a vocal reader, which in which in slide number 2 over here, which I say knowing readers, vocal readers versus silent readers, toxic readers and haters. Do you really have to change anything from there? You don't actually have to change anything. They can criticize you for all you want. All you have to do is just delete their comments, ban them, report them abuse, and ignore them. Because if you are a niche author and writing overpowered characters is not your stuff, you don't have to do it. You shouldn't do something that you don't want to do. You are the author. You control the book's direction. You don't have to. That is a preference. If you're getting criticized for things like, I don't see enough of this character's personality from your writing, or it's too rushed, that is a valid criticism based on writing. It's not an opinion that you should learn and grow from and improve on. But things like not writing an overpowered character is an opinion that you shouldn't listen to, especially if your story is not about it. Just saying, okay? I mean, decisions up to you. If you love that reader more than you like me, then go ahead, listen to them. I have no rights. As for Young Lin, he says, as a grinding sandbox genre writer, don't go for this, because even if it's accurate, vocals and hater would bash you straight with a bat. So, like I said, for your case, it's special. You need to take time off from writing before you actually get to anything. You you need to, I don't know, your readers and haters are controlling your story more than you lead them to, which is strange. You are like a Young Lin, you're like a tour guide that lets your tourists guide you instead of guiding your tourists as a tour guide. Yeah, your readers and your situation is kind of reversed. Like it's like you are the teacher of the classroom, but your students are dictating you instead. You know, you get what I mean? Oh, wrong, wrongs. Thank you. But yeah, this is exactly what it is. Which means that you're not controlling it right. You're not handling the situation right, and it's probably time to end it because the community that you failed to manage has grown out of control. Whether or not you want the book to continue is a secondary matter. It's a social matter right now. For your case, it's a social matter. So I don't know what to say. It's no longer about writing mainstream or catfishing in your case. It's more like a reader management kind of issue, you know? You need like a public relations manager to help you sort out your situation. You need like massive cleanups and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the end of my live stream for catfishing for niche authors. I'm open to just chatting and I'm open to just answering questions. I'm open to, anything else that is not this. because I'm so sick and tired of it. I don't know if Aina is here. Is Aina here? I should sing her a lullaby, but I don't know if she's here. Aina, if you're in YouTube or if you're on Twitch, can you let me know? Okay, let me just check my Discord. Is that now my Discord is on? Yeah. So yeah, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to let me know stuff. Yeah, so Aina doesn't appear to kind of be online, I guess. I'm so sad. Aina, I want to sing you a lullaby. It's not here. Should I sing a lullaby or should I not sing a lullaby? I actually remembered today. Okay, so assuming that she's going to be listening to the playback of this thing, so before I end the stream, she's gonna do an a cappella lullaby like I always do because it's like 10 p.m. over here, even though it's not 10 p.m. in some places. Okay, so today's lullaby is by Ruru Tia Hiosa. It's a song that I used to listen to. Okay, for those of you who don't want to listen to the lullaby, please log off gracefully. You don't have to listen to my embarrassing singing before I end the stream. Yeah. Okay, I will sing. 雪のよさいつも君の腕は冷たいねつないだらそっと溶けてしまいそうだよ誰に許されなくても全部なくしても会いたくて会いたくてもう戻れなくていい世界の果てまで輝いてるよ君がいるこれ以上望めないから神様今だけは目をつぶっていて僕らの過ちを That's all. Short excerpt. I was gonna cut it short, so it's not a full song, but thank you. Good night to all the people who are actually wanting lullabies. So this is the end of my stream. Thanks all for joining. I will put timestamps in the end of the video when it fully uploads on YouTube. But other than that, I will go back to Discord and start writing because I still need chapters. Honestly, I still need chapters. So if you want to sprint and you need some writing company, I'll be there. Thank you all for today. Let me know if you have any other topics that you would like me to cover in future streams. I can arrange. I can arrange. I should arrange. Alright, so that's all for tonight. Thanks for joining. Bye!